Some places are abandoned because people forgot them, but some places are abandoned because people were too afraid to stay. In the deserts of Rajasthan, India, there stands an ancient fort where entering after sunset is officially forbidden. Not by villagers, not by ghost hunters, but by the government itself. People say that after dark, the ruins of Bhangarh Fort are no longer empty. They say whispers echo through the broken halls, shadows move between the temples, and something unseen watches anyone who dares to stay. Tonight, we uncover the terrifying mystery of Bhangarh Fort. Long before it became known as one of the most haunted places in India, Bhangarh was a thriving city. Built during the 16th century in the Alwar region of Rajasthan, the fort was surrounded by markets, temples, palaces, and homes filled with thousands of people. The city was beautiful. Musicians played in royal courts. Traders filled the streets. Oil lamps illuminated the palace walls every night. For years, Bhangarh flourished. But according to legend, something evil was already watching the city from the shadows. And eventually, it would destroy everything. The most famous story connected to Bhangarh speaks of a powerful tantric, a practitioner of black magic. Named Singya, people feared him. Some believed he could control spirits. Others claimed he performed rituals deep in the forests surrounding the fort. But there was one thing even Singya could not control: Princess Ratnavati. Ratnavati was known throughout the kingdom for her beauty and intelligence. Many princes wanted to marry her, but Singya became obsessed, not with love, but possession. He knew a royal princess would never choose a man like him. So he turned to the only power he trusted: black magic. One afternoon, one of Princess Ratnavati's servants visited the marketplace to buy perfume oils. Singya saw his opportunity. Secretly, he cast a spell on the perfume. According to legend, the moment Ratnavati used it, she would fall completely under his control. But something went wrong. Somehow, the princess discovered the trap. Instead of using perfume, she threw the bottle onto a massive stone nearby. And then, something impossible happened. The stone began to move, slowly at first, then faster, rolling directly towards Singya himself. The terrified tantric tried to escape, but the giant rock crushed him to death. And as he lay dying, he cursed, "Bhangarh forever. No one will ever live peacefully here again. This city will be destroyed, and death will consume everyone who remains." According to the legend, that curse came true. Not long after the curse, Bhangarh was attacked. Wars spread across the region. Thousands died. The once glorious city collapsed into silence. Temples were abandoned. Markets disappeared. Homes turned into ruins. And eventually, the people left. Some say the city died because of war and famine. Others believe the curse never ended. But no matter what explanation people choose, one thing remains true: Bhangarh never recovered. Today, visitors arriving at Bhangarh Fort are greeted by something unusual: a warning sign installed by the Archaeological Survey of India. The sign states that entering the fort after sunset and before sunrise is prohibited. Think about that. India is filled with ancient forts and ruins, yet Bhangarh is one of the very few places where such warnings became famous worldwide. And that single sign helped transform the fort into a global horror legend. But the real fear comes from the stories people tell after dark. Locals living near the ruins claim that strange things happen at night. Some say they hear women crying. Others report footsteps echoing through empty corridors. A few even claim they heard music coming from inside the abandoned palace, despite the fort being completely empty. Several visitors have described a heavy feeling inside the ruins after sunset, like being watched, like something invisible is standing just behind them. And perhaps the most disturbing reports come from those who say they saw shadows moving between the temples, dark human-like figures, appearing only for a moment before disappearing into darkness. Over the years, paranormal investigators and YouTubers have attempted to spend the night inside Bhangarh Fort. Many carried cameras, audio recorders, infrared equipment. Some claimed their devices malfunctioned unexpectedly. Others captured strange audio disturbances, whispers, breathing sounds, footsteps where nobody was standing. Skeptics argue that old structures naturally create eerie echoes and sounds. Wind passing through broken stone corridors can sound almost human. Animals moving through the ruins at night may explain some sightings. But believers insist not everything can be explained. One local story continues to circulate among nearby villagers. Years ago, a group of young men secretly entered the fort after dark. At first, everything felt normal. They laughed, recorded videos, explored the abandoned halls. Then suddenly, one of them froze. He stared into a dark corridor deep inside the ruins and quietly said, "Someone is standing there." The others saw nothing, but moments later, their camera captured something strange. A dark shape, tall, motionless, almost human. Panic erupted. The group ran through the ruins in terror. One reportedly fell down the stairs during the escape, and according to the story, after that night, he was never mentally the same again. Was it real or just fear taking control? No one truly knows. Historians believe there are practical reasons why Bhangarh became abandoned. The region suffered from water shortages for centuries. Political instability and wars weakened the city over time. Eventually, people migrated elsewhere. From a scientific perspective, there may be nothing supernatural about the ruins at all, but psychology plays a powerful role in fear. When people enter dark, abandoned places already expecting horror, their minds begin searching for danger. Every sound feels unnatural, every shadow feels alive, and sometimes fear itself becomes the ghost. Perhaps the reason Bhangarh remains terrifying is not because of ghosts, but because of what the ruins represent. An entire city swallowed by time, a place once filled with life, now frozen in silence. When the sun begins to set over the broken walls, the fort changes, bird sounds disappear, wind moves through empty temples, and for a moment, it feels as if the ruins are remembering something ancient, something painful, something unfinished. Maybe the stories are only legends, maybe the shadows are illusions, maybe the curse never existed at all. But if you ever stand inside Bhangarh Fort after sunset, listening to the wind move through the empty corridors, you might begin to understand why generations of people refuse to stay there after dark. Because some places do not feel abandoned, they feel occupied, and perhaps something inside Bhangarh Fort is still waiting. Maybe the curse is real. Maybe the shadows inside Bhangarh Fort are only stories. Or maybe something is still waiting inside those ruins, watching anyone who dares to enter after dark. And the scariest part is, no one truly knows what happened there all those centuries ago, because some places are forgotten by history, but never abandoned by whatever still lives there. So tell me, would you spend one night inside Bhangarh Fort alone? Or would you run the moment the sun disappears behind those ruins? If you enjoyed this story, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notifications so you never miss another terrifying story from the darkest places on earth. And remember, some legends are meant to stay buried. Good night, and stay away from the dark.